Today we are going to start a new chapter, water. As you know that our earth is 71% covered with water. Because it is 71% covered with water, that's why it is known as blue planet. Second thing, human body also contain water. You know how much percent? We contain 65% of water. So we can say that water is very important constituent for all the living things. Now the question comes, in how many states water occur? Water occur in all three states. Solid, in the form of ice, liquid in the form of water, and gas in the form of water vapor. So water is found all three states. Now the question comes, who prepared water? The very first person who prepared water was Henry Cavendish. He prepared water with the help of hydrogen and oxygen with a given a small spark. When he pass, first of all he take two part of hydrogen and one part of oxygen. Then he given the little spark. As he given the little spark, this hydrogen and oxygen start burning and they start producing water. Like other substances, water also shows some properties. So first of all, we go through the physical properties of water. Very first physical property of water is colorless, odorless and transparent liquid. Next property is their boiling point. Pure water boils at 100 degree Celsius. If impurities are increased, so their boiling point is also increased. Next property, freezing point. The freezing point of pure water is 0 degree Celsius. Same thing, if their impurities are increased, their freezing point is decreased. Next property, density. The density of pure water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Last but not least, the next property is conductivity. As you know that any substance become a good conductor when they contain free electrons or ions. But over here, pure water does not contain any free electrons or ions. That's why pure water is a bad conductor of heat and electricity. After physical property, we are going through the chemical properties of water. The very first chemical property is action with litmus. All you know that litmus is an indicator, and indicators are basically used to find out whether a substance is acidic or basic in nature. So we can say that when we dip any blue litmus paper or a red litmus paper in pure water, their color will never change. So we can say that water is neutral to litmus. Second property, stability. Water is a compound. It is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. And water is very stable compound. If you want to decompose water into hydrogen and oxygen, you will not easily decompose water into hydrogen and oxygen. Because it is a stable compound. So if you want to decompose water into hydrogen and oxygen, there are only two processes. Very first thing, either you can pass 2000 degrees Celsius temperature, that time a small fraction of water is converted into hydrogen and oxygen. Next process is electrolysis. By the electrolysis, we can decompose water into hydrogen and oxygen, and we already done this electrolysis in the previous chapter. The next chemical property is action with metals. Children, all the metals are not reacting with the same speed with water. Metals react with water according to their metal activity series. If you see the metal activity series, very first and very most reactive metal is potassium, then sodium, then calcium, then magnesium, then aluminium, then zinc, and then irons, and so on. That is a metal activity series. First three elements, that means sodium, potassium and calcium, are react with cold water. When they react with cold water, they form hydrogen gas and metallic hydroxide. Afterwards, the metal which come, that means magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron, they are not react with the cold water, they are react with hot water steam. And when they react with hot water steam, they form hydrogen gas and metal oxides. For example, when potassium react with cold water, it form potassium hydroxide plus liberate hydrogen gas, and this reaction is very vigorously. That means it form hydrogen gas in larger amount in small time, because it show vigorous reaction, that's why it catch fire. So we never use potassium for the formation of hydrogen gas or for the preparation of hydrogen gas. Same thing with sodium. When sodium react with cold water, it form sodium hydroxide plus liberate hydrogen gas. It is also show vigorous reaction. Next, calcium. When calcium react with cold water, it react with moderate speed, and it form calcium hydroxide plus liberate hydrogen gas. So all these three metals, sodium, potassium and calcium, they react with cold water. They all three substances form hydrogen gas plus they form metallic hydroxide. Now these metals, magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron, they react with hot water or steam. First of all, when magnesium react with steam, it form magnesium oxide plus liberate hydrogen gas. Same aluminium. When aluminium react with steam, it form aluminum oxide plus liberate hydrogen gas. Same when iron, but iron is reacting with steam when it is red hot. That means first of all we have to give the heat to the iron, and when iron become red hot, at that time we pass the steam over the iron. When iron react with steam, it form iron oxide plus liberate hydrogen gas. So these are the reaction with metals. The next property of water is action with non-metals. Basically, when water react with non-metals like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, potassium pentoxide, they form non-metallic oxide, that means they form acids. For example, when carbon dioxide react with water, they form H2CO3, carbonic acid. Same thing when sulfur dioxide react with water, it forms sulfurous acid. So we can say that whenever any non-metallic oxides react with water, they always form acids. The next topic which we are going to start, that is anomalous behavior of water. In normal condition, whenever any matter is heating, it will be expand, and if the matter is cooling, it will be contract. But water show unusual behavior. See, when we cooling the water and the temperature reaches at 4 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, it start expanding rather contracting, it start expanding. Same thing when ice, that means when solid form of water, that means when it is 0 degrees Celsius, when we increase their temperature till 4 degree Celsius, it start contracting instead of expanding. And this unusual behavior of water is known as anomalous behavior of water. Due to this anomalous behavior of water, the aquatic animals and aquatic plant can survive in extreme cold conditions. Now the next topic is solution. So before we go for a solution, you should know the two terms. The first is solvent and second is solute. What is a solvent? The liquid substance in which any substance is mixed, that is called solvent. For example, water, comma, milk, etc. Because they are liquid substances and in which we can add any other substances, they are called solvent. Next topic is solute. The solid substance which are dissolved or which are mixed in solvent, they are called solution. For example, salt, sugar, etc. So when solvent plus solute, when solute mix in solvent, they form a mixture, and this mixture is known as solution. So in very simple language, we can say that when solute mix in solvent, they form a solution. For example, sugar solution. After solution, the next topic is type of solution. There are three types of solutions. Very first, true solution. Second, colloidal solution. Third is suspension. Now we are going through one by one. First one is true solution. What is a true solution? See, true solution are the homogeneous mixture in which the size of particle is below 1 nanometer. This particle can pass through simple filter paper as well as a animal membrane. And second thing, when we pass a beam of light, it can pass through it. So such kind of solution is known as true solution. For example, sugar solution and salt solution are true solution. The second type of solution is colloidal solution. What is a colloidal solution? Colloidal solution is also a homogeneous mixture in which the particle size is between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer, and when we pass this solution through the filter paper, they can easily pass. But when we pass this solution through the animal membrane, the particle cannot pass through the animal membrane. And second thing, when we pass a beam of light, they can scatter the beam of light. So such kind of solution is known as colloidal solution. For example, milk. Milk is a colloidal solution. Third type of solution is suspension. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which solute and solvent can easily seen by the naked eyes. They cannot pass through the filter paper as well as the animal membrane because the size of the particle is above 100 nanometer, and when we pass a beam of light through the suspension, they also scatter the beam of light. For example, sand and water solution is a suspension. Children, there are two types of water. One is soft water, one is a hard water. Now, what is a soft water? The water which give leather with soap easily, that is called a soft water. What is a leather? Lather. Leather means jhag. The water which give leather with soap easily, that is called a soft water. For example, rainwater, and distilled water are the examples of soft water because they are easily give lather with soap. Other half, what is a hard water? The water which do not give lather with soap easily, they are called hard water. For example, river water, ponds water, tap water are the examples of hard water. Now there are the hard water are of two types, or we can say the hardness in water are of two types. One is temporary hard water, and second is permanent hard water. Now the question comes, how we can remove the hardness from water? We can remove the hardness from water by two methods. First method is by boiling. By boiling, we can remove the temporary hardness, and all you know that temporary hardness is just because of presence of salts of calcium and magnesium bicarbonate. When we heat temporary hard water, this calcium dissolved calcium bicarbonate is converted into insoluble calcium carbonate, carbon dioxide, and water. These calcium carbonate are converted into precipitate and they are settled down at the bottom. Same thing when we heat temporary hardness or temporary hard water, and if they contain magnesium bicarbonate, they also form magnesium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water. These magnesium carbonate are also form of precipitates. So these calcium and magnesium carbonate precipitates are removed by just a simple filtration process. So now your water is become soft water. The second method for removal of hardness from the water is by adding sodium carbonate, and we can add sodium carbonate into the permanent hard water. See, all you know that permanent hard water contain calcium and magnesium, salts of calcium and magnesium, sulfates and chloride. So when we add sodium carbonate in permanent hard water. Suppose permanent hard water contain impurities of calcium sulfate, CaSO4, and when we add sodium bicarbonate in it, this sodium bicarbonate react with calcium sulfate and form calcium carbonate plus sodium sulfate. This calcium carbonate form precipitate, and this precipitate are settled down. Same thing, we can separate this precipitate of calcium carbonate by simple filtration process. Suppose hardness is just because of magnesium sulfate. Same process, magnesium sulfate also react with sodium carbonate and they form magnesium carbonate, precipitates of magnesium carbonate plus sodium sulfate. These magnesium carbonate are settled down at the bottom, and we can remove this calcium and magnesium carbonate by simple filtration process. When we filter the water become soft water.